Me, 35 male, with my girlfriend, 28 female, for 3 months. Slept with my best friend, also 35 male. On Thursday night, we went out to a local bar and got very intoxicated there. After we returned from the casino, they in the ladies' room. She returned to me the next day, sobbing, and said she had confessed to everything, according to her account. Despite several attempts, my buddy has refused to acknowledge anything, and I have not seen or heard from him since. From the beginning, we both agreed that no matter what we did, we would always be honest and give the other person the option of staying or quitting the relationship. Without her seeking my best friend in the toilet while I was there, I wouldn't have bothered to disturb her. She continues to tell me how screwed up we all were, and she expresses a desire to stay with me in order to straighten everything out. I appreciate her candor and am hoping that we will be able to come to a mutually beneficial arrangement. So here's the situation. Since then, I haven't been physically able to have intercourse with her due to my physical limitations. Even though I really want to kiss her every time she begins to initiate, all I can think of is her getting nailed in a casino toilet at the moment. This is a problem that I had no idea would occur when I decided to stay with her, and I'm concerned it will not go away on its own. This has already happened twice, and it is undeniably a significant problem. By the way, our life had been absolutely amazing up until this moment. I discovered an ex-girlfriend cheating earlier in the week, and I hadn't had this problem in previous years. This time, though, my current girlfriend came clean and confessed to me. I was aware of how intoxicated we were all, but this time it hurt more. Has anybody else experienced anything similar, and what was the outcome? Can I say that my marriage is over, despite the fact that both of us desire to work things out in the future? At times it seems as like I'm clinging to her because I thought I loved her, yet here I am at 4 a.m., begging for assistance on Reddit. It goes without saying that no one knows what I need or want to do better than I do, but I am open to hearing any recommendations. Greetings and thank you for taking the time to read this. Please take my advice as it is given in advance. Quick update. My mate refused to even recognize that anything had happened, since he had a girlfriend of 7 years with him. It was my responsibility to notify her of what had occurred and to urge that she phone her and inform his girlfriend of what had occurred. If he came to me in the same manner that she did, I would forgive him after I kicked his in the face. My ex-girlfriend told me first thing in the morning the next day. She called him first and informed him she was going to tell me. He immediately started talking trash about me, stating she owed him no loyalty since I'm a lying piece of trash. Story 2. My wife, 34 female of 13 years, cheated on me, 35 male, with a friend of mine early last year. I tried to get past it, but I don't know if I can go on. We had 4 children together and have only recently gotten to know one another. We hadn't even had relations with anyone else until we met when we were around 20 years old. I was away with the 3 eldest children during a vacation at the beginning of last year. Since the baby became ill, she was compelled to remain at home. When I returned home after a week, I discovered that she had been having an affair with another man. They'd been chatting on Snapchat for about a month when she invited him over to our house for dinner. As the story progressed, they had encounters on the sofa. It took her a week to tell me everything she wanted to tell me. Initially, she simply stated that they kissed, but I didn't believe her, so I persisted in questioning her about it, and she eventually admitted to kissing me. The man lives in the neighborhood. He's married, and his wife and children are our age. Their daughter comes to see us on a regular basis. For the past few weeks, we'd been working out together and had visited them for dinner several times. I still run into him and his wife at the grocery store, school, or when I pick up the kids from a birthday party after they have left. Fear was the first emotion that I experienced. My parents split, and I made a promise to myself that I would never do the same to my children. I had a similar response from her, with both of us trying all we could to tell me that everything had been a mistake and that I was in fact the man of her dreams. I did all I could to put things back in their proper perspective. Our relationship began to improve as a result of our visits to the spa and couple counseling. We began talking about all the things we hadn't mastered properly in our marriage and spending more time together, and things started to look a bit better. I couldn't take my mind off the fact that I was completely paralyzed. I never felt it when she said she was sorry, that she loved me, and that all she wanted was to be with me. Even today, when she tells me she loves me and I struggle to express my feelings in return, it doesn't really set in. I'm feeling numb and half-hearted, and I'm not sure I can still say that I love her despite everything. but I'm not sure whether I'll ever be able to restore my feelings for her. I wish I could make things right. I'm not even sure whether I have the necessary motivation. Some people believe that love is a decision, but is it really? When I'm in her presence, I don't feel like I'm present. We've never had so much to talk about, apart from family and friends in our lives. We don't speak about much, which I enjoy, and don't have many substantial debates with one another. We don't everyone like the same television shows, novels, or movies. There's nothing wrong with her. She just doesn't have many interests outside of work. She is, however, an exceptional homemaker, a profession that she has chosen for herself. After realizing that I don't know how I feel about her, I'm having difficulty finding reasons to keep going that aren't related to the kids, the house, or the necessities of life. I'm having horrific nightmares about leaving and about the grief I'd cause everyone in my immediate vicinity if I left. It's also worth adding that I caught her sending underwear photographs of herself to another guy through email approximately 5 or 6 years ago, which I believe was a mistake. There was something I eventually came to terms with and forgiven her. Update. First and foremost, I'm going in my girlfriend, and I have found a little apartment nearby that we'll be sharing for a time while we figure out a more long-term arrangement. Every day serves as a constant reminder of how destroyed our relationship has been from the beginning of our relationship. My husband and I have never argued much, but I now realize that this it is because we have never dealt with the true issues that have arisen. We just gobbled them up like candy. It was just a year ago that I discovered the infidelity, and she admitted that they had only kissed once. It took her a week to inform me that they were having relations. Then she said that it was an accident that occurred once, that they were terrified, and that he departed swiftly as they realized what had happened. Despite the fact that they had been conversing through Snapchat for 35 days in a row, she claimed that there was never any content in their conversations. I never completely believed it, and I often questioned her about it during the year, but she never admitted that it was anything other than what it seemed to be. I couldn't keep my hands off her phone any longer, so I went back to her phone and looked through the records from a year before. Something didn't add up, and I realized what it was. Location and search history indicated an entirely different narrative from what she had previously told me. When I questioned her about it, she ultimately acknowledged that they had at the beginning of the month, then stayed in touch every day for many weeks before doing it again a few days later. As a result, when she invited him to our house at the end of the month while I was away, she knew exactly what was going to happen. On top of that, she traveled with him and his family to a church dinner on the same day they had, and she took our youngest child along as well. A week or two later, she invited them all to join us for dinner at our home. This has a significant impact on the overall layout. It's a lot worse than she first told me. I can't believe she would do anything like that. I had already made up my mind to leave when I found out about this, and I'm still in disbelief that someone I've known for so long could do such a terrible thing to me and his family. I'm beginning to believe that all of my attempts to mend our relationship have been in vain since. The story she told me was a fabrication. It's almost as though I've been assaulted. She never acknowledged how bad the situation was. Anyway, I've been ready to move on for a long time, and I'm ready to do so now, even before knowing this. The most painful aspect is that I will have to live with her for the rest of my life as a result of the children we have together. This has caused me to struggle with not harboring a great deal of animosity against her, and I know that I will have to forgive her at some point in the future. I want to be able to collaborate with her because it will make the lives of my children a whole lot simpler. Do you have any thoughts for how I should go about approaching this situation right now? Was there anything I could have done to move on in the most honorable way possible for my children, myself, and her? What should I do now?